Hello all, welcome to this course on ISTQB Foundation Level Examination Preparation. This is a chapter 3, that is a static testing. From this chapter you will get 3 marks. Alright, so in this video we are going to learn about the last two topics, that is what exactly the is mean by applying review test techniques, then success factors for reviews. Let's start with the applying review techniques. So applying review techniques, we have of course you know what is review is, right? So what kind of techniques can be applied, that's what you should understand in this video. See, these are all the techniques that can be applied: ad hoc, checklist based, scenarios and dry runs, perspective based and role based. So these are all only five techniques that can be applied. So in this video you will be understand what exactly these are. So first start with the ad hoc. So ad hoc is something, just before the text you just understand. So ad hoc is something no documented. Say for example, if you are a tester and you have some 10 years of experience in particular in the same kind of project, say the project is banking, all right, and you are asked to validate some module that you have very well expertise in your 10 years of experience. So for that there is no documentation is required, you can just directly come and you can start your testing, you can start your validation or verification. So that is exactly is called ad hoc. All right, so this is your understanding. So let's see the summaries. In an ad hoc review, reviewers are provided with a little or no guidance. So there is no, see, that's what I said. If you are a 10 plus years of experience in particular domain and in even kind of a similar kind of a project, then you doesn't need any guidance, right, on how this task should be performed. There is no guidance is required or given. Reviewers often read the work product sequentially, identifying and documenting issues as they encounter. But yes, of course, you are going through the thing, but you should document everything, because of course you are experienced, but others are not experienced, right? So you have to, of course their experience or not, but you should document. Ad hoc review is commonly used technique needing little preparation, so there is no preparation is required, that's what. So only the time is mandatory. The technique is highly dependent on the reviewer skills. So once again, reviewer skills, and may lead to many duplicate issues being reported by different reviewers. So that's what. So as he doesn't have any document, he'll just randomly he can get so many defects or so many findings that may be already found by some reviewers also. So that's all about ad hoc. Only these 4 points you have to understand. Okay, so no documentation is required, and often the reviewer has to document the issues whatever he encounter. Then there is no preparation is required, or no guidance or no preparation is required, and the reviewer skill, it is completely dependent on the reviewer skill. Say for example, if you take some 2 years or 1 year experience people, to give ad hoc is not acceptable. Then applying review techniques, that is checklist based. So second is checklist based. So the name itself, checklist based. So whatever you do, you have to follow exactly as per the checklist. So these will be given to the junior engineers or the engineers who are new to this field. All right, because they'll have every instructions as a checklist. They have to just follow, and they should follow. A checklist based review is a systematic technique. All right, so whereby the reviewers detect issues based on checklist that are distributed at review initiation. So review checklist consists of what exactly it will be. It will be set of questions based on the potential defects, which may be derived from the experience. So there may be from the test lead or test coordinators or managers or test managers, who are they would have certain stuff they would be allow put all together in the or a checklist. Checklist should be specified to the type of work product under review and should be maintained regularly to cover the issue types missed in previous reviews. So that is, yeah, the previous release, whatever the issues has been covered or not uncovered, so everything has to be put upon. The main advantage of the checklist based technique is a systematic coverage of a typical defect. So it's a systematic coverage, and this will definitely give more confident actually compared to other. So this will, because as you are going for a systematic, you will follow the 100% coverage as well. The final one is the care should be taken not to follow simply the checklist also. So it is again, it's also, it is as I said, 1 year 2 years, or beginners or junior engineers or engineers is taking part. It is not limited that they have to only follow the checklist. After completing the checklist, they can also explore and they can do the exploratory testing. All right, so that's all about this checklist based. Now we'll see the scenarios and dry run. So in scenario based reviews, reviews are provided with a structured guideline as like a checklist. This here also they'll have the structured guidelines have to follow. A scenario based review supports reviewers in performing dry runs. Dry runs is like a dummy run on the work product based on the expected usage of the product. So that'll be the initial expectation from the product, right? So in terms of execution or or execution in the sense, like for the tools. So auto run and all is there, right? So that is, sorry, not executing, because we should not use the term execution in the static testing. All right, so it is an automated review system. There will be dry runs is applicable. And the final one is the scenario provides reviewers with better guidelines. Again, there will be guidelines. They have to follow the guidelines to identify the specific defect types than a simple checklist. So before it was a checklist, but here there will be proper guidelines. So it is one step ahead of the checklist review. Oh, sorry, one more point is that as with checklist-based reviews, in order not to miss other defects, example missing feature, reviewer should not be constrained to document the scenarios. Again, here also documentation is very important. Then applying the perspective base. So perspective is somewhat, no, if you have taken some product, no, if three persons are there, one, two, and three. If there is three-person, if you give a same product to these three people, the three people perspective may different. So he may think something, or she may thinks it's a different. So that's what's a perspective based testing or review. Sorry. See, in perspective based review or a reading, similar to the role based review, reviewers is take on the different stakeholders viewpoints. So different stakeholders is again developers or testers or leads or the usability experts or a subject matter experts, whoever it may be. So all different people perspective different, so who are all been taking part in the reviews, that can be applied as a review. So typical stakeholder viewpoints include end user, yeah, customer, marketing, designers, tester or operation, or even a developers, some few developers. Using different stakeholders viewpoints lead to more depth. That's what, so it would be the concept to be discussed will be more depth about the same. So there'll be and the doubts and all, it's like out of the boundaries it will be. And something, it will be like a robust scenarios, like it will not be inside the no range. That kind of inputs also can be obtained when the perspective based technique has been applied. In addition to the perspective based reading, also requires a reviewer to attempt to use the work product under the review to generate a product they would derive from it. So that's what it is. On their own perspective they may found it, and if it is helpful, so definitely it will be implemented. And final one is, for example, a tester would attempt, so not final, I think another one, yeah. So for example, a tester would attempt to generate a draft acceptance test, the performing perspective based reading on a requirement specification to see if all necessary information is included. So as a tester perspective, he will just check all the necessary information is required or not in his perspective. That is the first perspective. If it is a customer perspective, he'll check, he'll expect the output, what kind of scenario he want, that he'll think. So here he will just think about the document, here he'll think about the scenario, how the scenario will be. So that's what it will keep on changing about the perspective to perspective. Further, in perspective based reading, checklists are expected to be used. So again, checklist is mandatory. So how you get the questions is, in what review types the checklist are not expected. They'll give the questions like they'll give like perspective based or checklist based, or they'll give some other one more option A and B. Then the first one, adhoc based, then you have to click adhoc is the right answer, because there you will not have any checklist. So like this you have to remember these things. And the final one is our role based. It is more similar to perspective based, but here it will be directly mention the role. roles of the people, like again testers or developers or individual stakeholders. Stakeholders includes everyone who are taking part in the project. All right, the typical role is specific end user type, that is experienced or inexperienced, senior or child, etc. Specific roles in the organization: user, administrator, system administrator, performance tester, everyone. So everyone's a review would be taken care with respect to the role based. So here it is, again, it is not mandated to follow everyone's perspectives, every review techniques. Either if your project is a really relate with the role based system, then you can go for this review. Otherwise you can go to perspective. Otherwise you can go for dry runs and the scenario based, or you can go to checklist. So every anything. So I can say that not every project will undergo every techniques. So maybe one or two. Ad hoc is a common. So in every project ad hoc may undergo if we have no times. So if you have more time, you can go for ad hoc testing after you completing all the checklist based or scenario based testings. All right, so that's all about these review techniques. And if you have any doubts in the review testing techniques, yes, you can please get back to us. Or the final point is the same principles apply. That's what it is, similar as we discussed the perspective based. So it is similar. So there is nothing in this. You just go through, and we'll just quickly go into the success factors. So here two things you should understand if success factor means. One is your organization. So the success factors of the organization, what are the organization you are in, right? So the organization success factor. Another one is people inside the organization. Okay, so people means you, me, everyone. So this is the first one is organizational success factors. Again we have people based, people related success factors. So with this chapter ends. Okay, so if you are good with this, you can get easily 3 marks. So let's say it's very easy. Okay, so success factors for reviews. So what your organization do for you for a reviews? So they will allocate some time. All right, so in your time sheets you can fill that your review times, and also they'll give the time for that. That means your effort, everything. Then they will give the space. If you are in office, you'll book some meeting room, right? Meeting room. So they'll give some space. Then they'll give the adequate information, notice. So before, so they'll not tell you like today they'll come and they'll not tell you to do the review. They'll just have their own plan. They'll have their own schedule. As per that, they'll give you. So these are all the things success factors meet for reviews. Let's see one by one. Each review has a clear objectives during review planning, and used as a measurable exit criteria. All right. So that's what it is. It will be clear. Review types are applied. So if it is something complicated, I'll explain. Otherwise it is very easy for you to understand, because those things only we are keep on discussing. Review types are applied which are suitable to achieve the objectives and are appropriate to the type and the level of software products and the participants. So this also, I mean, what are the points I'm reading? Okay, in everywhere the success factor on the organization ahead. So any review technique used, such as checklist based or role based or perspective based or whatever, okay, suitable for the effective defect identification the product to be reviewed. So whatever the review technique is, our one goal is to find the defect, the two effective defect. All right. Any checklist used addresses the main risk and are up to date. So whatever the risk or document the checklist, it has to be on up to date. Large documents are written and reviewed on a small chunks, so that the quality control is exercised by providing authors early and frequent feedback on the defects. So that's what. So if it is a large document, it will be cut down as a pieces of chunks. Then it can be reviewed and get a feedbacks as well. So participants have adequate time to prepare. That is also organization provides. Then reviews are scheduled with adequate notice. Management support the review process. Definitely the support in the sense they are allocating you the time, effort, the place, everything. Reviews are integrated in the company's quality and the test policies. So this is a very important. So when you are releasing any software or product, so the review checklist, the reviews, what are the proof, review has happened, everything should be provided to the customer to make them satisfied, also to bring a confident about the product. So these are all the factors, that is success, organization success factors for the reviews. All right, so it is again, what are the things you go through, everything which is towards the organization. All right, then Coming to people related success factors, the right people are involved. So very simple. So they will definitely involve a right people, like a proper, if it is a system testing, they'll involve the system testers, or if it is a architectural design, they'll just involve the unit testers or integration tester. So that's what. Okay, so that's what the different skill sets or a perspective. Then testers are seen as a valued reviewers who contribute to more. So if you are put as a tester, you are a more valued reviewer. That means you should get some defect, all right, or you should get some findings. That's what. Participants dedicated adequate time and attention to detail. So that's what, whatever the time you are, it should be utilized in an effective way. Then reviews are conducted on a small chunks. That's what, the big document, so it will be cut down as a small chunks and can get the feedback on time. Defects found or acknowledged, appreciated, and handled objectively. That's what. So as I have seen in the psychology of the testers and developers, the defects found, it should be approached in a constructive way. That's what. The meeting is well managed, so the participants can consider it as a value use of their time. So it should be well managed, like it should be planned before a week, or before 2 days or 3 days, whatever it may be. It should be, fine to everyone, all the participants. The reviews is conducted on an atmosphere of trust. So the outcome will not be used for evaluation of the participants. A very important thing. Say for example, if you are a tester, all right, we are a tester. You are reviewing a product from the developer, all right. So once you found, say if you found 10 defects, that means it is not evaluating the developer is wrong, the developer is a poor mindset, developers doesn't have proper knowledge to develop a code. It's not like that, all right. So it is completely, the one aim is to give a quality product. It is not like evaluation of the product. The reason, sorry, evaluation of the participants. Because why this point is very important is because nowadays it's becoming, people are not going through these kind of certifications, but they are directly into the company, like a 1 year 2 year experience. They are vice versa, they are doing. If they're getting so many defects, then they are thinking the developer is a dumb, and vice versa. All right, so it should not be there. And this kind of questions is very, very important. So like how the questionnaire will be like, if you get some, if you get so many defects from the module, so what would be the reason, or what would be the mindset, whether it should be, whether it is for evaluation of the participants, or you are working for improve the software quality, or you are working for bringing the confidence among the software product. So these kind of things will be there. So which in this, which one is very close to the questionnaire, you have to answer, but you should not pick this, because this is completely wrong. Participants avoid body language, so very important again. So when you are in a meeting with explaining the defects to the developer, or if you are a developer, you are explaining the thing to the tester, you should not use body language. So it will create issues. It will create a bad impression to the opponent, or to the people who are opposite to you. So it should not. So here in this ISTQB, they have mentioned like I indicate boredom, but it is not a boredom to really make the people angry. All right. Then adequate training is provided, especially for the more formal reviews type such as an inspection. So here more training. So this is as per the people, right? So that's what, the more training has to be given. So that would be there in every project before starting, or after starting. There will be so many trainings. Why the trainings is not to give you boredom feelings, or to eat your time. It should give you enough information, should give you a proper knowledge to work on, not only to work on that project. You will get similar project in your upcoming future, or maybe in after 4 years or 5 years, so it will be helpful. So it should be there. That is adequate training. A culture of learning and process improvement is promoted. That's what, in each and every organization you will have a separate, separate goals for learning, separate set of blogs to learn everything. So you should utilize this properly. And that's all about this chapter. All right, so this chapter is all yes, of course, this chapter is very simple, straightforward. Only three questions you'll get, but those three questions will be very easy if you just go through this this complete chapter from from the first page to end through the last page for 3 times or 4 times. You can easily crack this 3 marks. All right, so that's all about this video. If you have any doubts, you can please feel free to come back to us. We'll solve then and there, and we'll get back to you in the next chapter.